In this video, John Tilley from ZonGuru and Mike Zagare from PPC Entourage demonstrate how to use an Amazon PPC keyword strategy by using ZonGuru Keywords on Fire tool and a free spreadsheet created by PPC Entourage that will help Amazon sellers to find the most relevant product keywords for advertising. If you don't know, ZonGuru is an all-in-one tool suite perfect for all your Amazon business needs, while PPC Entourage helps to scale your Amazon PPC performance. If you want to try any of these tools, find the links below in the video description. And also, I would like to mention that this video is hosted by LISETT LEES. She hosts Orange Click videos and works with different Amazon brands. And as always, if you like our content, click the like button below the video and subscribe to our channel.
Hi, John and Mike. I'm really happy to have you here on Orange Click channel today. And before we go into today's topic, could you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the Amazon space? And John, you can go first.
Yeah, Lisette, it's so good to be back with Orange Click. I love what you guys are doing. It's really helpful in the space. Anyway, I'm John Tilley, the CEO and co-founder of ZonGuru. It's a business intelligence toolset for private label Amazon sellers. We have 17 different tools connected in 10 different marketplaces globally. So, I'm also a multi-brand seller and very passionate about the space. So I'm excited to jump into today's training for sure.
Awesome. Good to see you both. My name is Mike Zagare. I'm the owner of PPC Entourage, which is a software tool for Amazon sellers to improve their advertising, to help them scale their advertising. And also we have our management services. And I'm a new author. We just came out with the Playbook series. It's available on Kindle. We're going to be talking about that today and the foundation of the Playbook series, which is actually John's tool, which is why we have such great synergy working together. So what's up, everyone?
Okay, very good. So today we will focus on PPC keyword strategy. And for that, we have both of you here. So John, could you please give us a little bit more background information why Mike is joining us today to talk about using ZonGuru's tools?
Yeah, when we were talking about doing this training, I thought of how could we provide a lot of value to the listeners today. And one of the areas that is so critical now more than ever is your PPC strategy, your advertising strategy on Amazon. And what's really critical about that is your foundation. So as small to medium-sized businesses, I see a lot of people who spend a lot of money in PPC and waste that money because they don't have the core foundational understanding of what needs to be done in the advertising space. And, in today's world with some of the bigger brands with bigger budgets playing in your space on Amazon, it's very easy to spend a lot of money without being impactful. So, I've known Mike for a while. He's got a great product. He's very experienced in this area of advertising and beyond. And I know that, we've worked closely together and he uses ZonGuru because he really finds a lot of value in the data and it's part of the foundation of his Playbook series. So I thought, why not bring Mike on to really give some insights around his strategy and his thinking around how to develop that foundational playbook for advertising. I'll be able to commentate as we go. And I'm quite excited to dive in. And Mike's been doing a lot of work of late around this and around the playbook. And I think it's just an awesome value to share right now with the audience. So I think this is going to be really, really insightful and people are going to use this going forward, which is super cool.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, John. And just a little bit of context about how this all came about. So I would say around 7 months ago, I was looking to improve my keyword research skills. And I know there's all these different methods out there. And I came across a video that I do recommend watching. It's by Adam Heist. It's on the ultimate keyword research strategy. And I'm watching this video and I was like drawn into the fact that it's so thorough. Like it was a really thorough way to do keyword research. Like, man, this is thorough, but I absolutely hate spreadsheets. Like that's why I built PPC Entourage in 2016. I built it because I was dealing with spreadsheets and using that in my business. And like, this was the same exact example. So I was going through all of this stuff. And then I realized that 80% of what he was recommending was done by John's tool in the Keywords on Fire tool. And then there was a little bit extra that we had to do to get to that level of detail that I wanted. And I put together a spreadsheet that works with John's tool to help you get that extra layer of thoroughness. Even though John's tool is amazing, this is a little bit extra for PPC purpose. And then we take that spreadsheet that I actually created my own spreadsheet to work with John's tool. We take that and then we use it as a foundation for the playbook. So today I want to dive into a little bit more context as to what the playbook is, how to use John's tool, and then leave you with a link to actually download the playbook for free. Anyone who's watching this can get a free copy of it. So with that being said, you guys ready to dive in?
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm excited, and I think the viewers will be excited as well. So go ahead, share your screen, and let's dive in.
All right, so a little bit of context before we get started. This slide right here is really important to know how to really take advantage of Amazon advertising. Amazon advertising has become way more complex over the years. Since I started in 2015, there was just sponsored product ads back then. We did manual and auto campaigns and some very basic campaigns after that. And then it became clearer and clearer that Amazon is using all of these different ad types and then also utilizing how to reach customers at different stages of where customers are at with these ad types to make sure that you're being more strategic with your ads. And without this knowledge, you could end up throwing away a lot of money in Amazon advertising. So fast forward to 2021, we have sponsored product ads, sponsored brand ads, sponsored display ads, sponsored brand video ads, and there's more coming. But understanding this slide is absolutely critical to the foundation of your advertising. So the customer buying cycle is a simple, way to raise awareness for your product. If someone's unaware of your product, you can bring awareness to your product through either advertising or even social media or whatever you wanted to do to make sure that people understand what you have to sell and what you have to offer and what problem you have to solve. So that's the awareness phase. And when we have the awareness phase, we're looking for more longer tail keywords or more research-based keywords. And John's tool can help you find that. And we'll go over how to find those keywords on this presentation. Once customers are aware of what you're selling, then they may compare you to competition and go in what's called the information search phase or the evaluation alternative phase, which is also known as the consideration phase. This is when you want to utilize the campaigns inside of the playbook to get more customer touch points. The more touch points you get, the more impression share you get, the more reach you get, the more likely they are to click on your ad when they're ready to buy and remember your brand on Amazon when they're looking to buy, which is the decision phase or the purchase decision phase. This is when you find those keywords where people are just ready to purchase. This is where you want to be at the top of search. It's a little bit more competitive up here. The cost per clicks are going to be a little bit higher. And once again, we're going to utilize John's tool to help get you to that decision phase. Ultimately, you want to rank for these keywords because these are the keywords that are going to be highly relevant to what you're selling. And then John's tool is going to help identify which ones are the most competitive, but also where there's opportunities to get higher rank. And then finally, once you've gotten the sale, hopefully you can move into the post-purchase phase. This is when customers are actively searching for your brand and you're protecting your brand from any other sellers who might be trying to capture some of your sales. Also, you're looking to potentially upsell and cross-sell and keep your customers around for a long period of time. Right now, Amazon is starting to give us a lot of data about this, which is really cool. Started to connect the dots between attribution and all the brand metrics that we're getting. So I highly recommend setting up post-purchase ads to make sure you're getting that sale on the back end as well. Okay.
Hey, just a quick question there, Mike, but going back to that customer lifecycle, do you have any insight into the length of a buying cycle? I'd be interested in some of your thoughts there, whether that's category based or not. But my kind of assumption there, especially as PPC gets more sophisticated and buyers get more sophisticated, in some cases, and especially seasonality, like for right now, the customer buying life cycle can actually be pretty long in terms of seeing some ads now in October, but maybe only buying your product in November, right? So there's that awareness play. But do you have any insight into kind of length of customer buying cycle? Is it like literally immediate, hey, I'm searching and I'm buying right now, or is there a process of a few days? Do you have any insight there?
Well, I can tell you from experience that I went through this in 2 minutes, like at 3 a.m. one time, where I was unsure. I didn't know about a product and then went all the way to the purchase part of this buying cycle. So it can be very quick. A lot of that depends on the price. If something's $20 or $25 and it captures their awareness, it shows them the differences between, your product and their product. So people can, know that this is the best product. Maybe that's through reviews, and then they're just ready to purchase. Then they get that impulse buy because it's a cheaper product. If it's a more expensive product, this could take a long time. This could take years, in the case of like a really, really, really expensive product. I have heard recently that it takes about 28 different touch points. So 28 times for a customer to really go from like, sort of awareness to more awareness to now considering it to the actual purchase. But once again, that really depends, like you said, on seasonality, price point, and probably 100 other factors.
Yeah. And even purpose, like right now, people are buying gifts, right? And that could be a longer life cycle because they're actually looking in October, but they might only be buying in December for Christmas gifts. So cool. Just a question there.
Yeah. And they may be adding it to their cart and then going back and then checking that at a later time. So then they're considering alternatives at another time. While that product is sitting in their cart, they're checking out the price. So there's all sorts of ways that they may be doing that, or maybe they don't have the money yet to purchase it, so it's different on every product. All right. So this next slide is really important because a lot of times with advertising, the questions that we get are centered around ACOS. My ACOS is too high, or I want to improve my ACOS, whatever the case may be. So I want to just talk really briefly about the purpose of advertising because it does go way beyond ACOS. And you start to think about how this can help your business out. It's really important to take this all into consideration. And we're going to tie this into John's tool in just a second and show you how to get this ball rolling in the right direction. So first is gaining traction. And this could be just getting more sales, getting that flywheel effect going, getting the ranking going. And to do this, you're going to need really good research on relevant keywords. Some of those keywords might be opportunity keywords because you don't have the advantage of your competition with all those high star reviews, but you want to gain traction. And advertising is, this, in my opinion, the single best way to get to the top of Amazon the quickest. So number one, gain traction. And then of course, ranking. And this is when you really want to see where there's opportunity to rank higher. Where's your competition ranking for certain keywords? Are you at the bottom of page 2 and you want to get to the top of page 1? How can you identify those keywords and start to make moves to get more ranking and more organic sales that way? Next is true ACOS. This is really important. People call this tacos or ACOTS, and there's a million ways to describe it. We also call it ad spend margin impact. And this is the amount of impact that your ad spend has on your overall revenue. So let's say you're spending $10 on advertising and you make $100 in sales. That ad spend margin impact, or that true ACOS, is going to be 10%. So we want to be around 6 to 12%, but that does depend on your profitability. And the point is, if you don't track this number, you don't know how much advertising is impacting your overall revenue. If this number is too low, it could mean that you're underutilizing the power of Amazon advertising. If it's too high, it could be eating you alive with your revenues, and your profits could be going in the dust towards Amazon advertising. So definitely keep in mind that this is different on a campaign by campaign. This is different on a SKU level, and also on a product level, and also on a overall account level. You should be tracking this. Next is research. So Amazon advertising is fantastic for research, specifically, research-based campaigns like automatic campaigns. This helps us to see like what different search terms or ASINs are converting. So we can then take that and utilize that across multiple different ad types. So we won't cover that much today, but the point is we're going to use that research, and then we're going to compare it to what's being spit out in Keywords on Fire to see if there's any confirmation based on, and with that confirmation, we can then target those keywords a little bit more effectively. Next, we talked about this before with the consideration phase, is touch points. So here's where we want to collect. I've heard about 28 different touch points is what we're looking to collect. And the cool thing is Amazon advertising, you don't have to pay if most of them are cost per click ads. So you're only paying if you get the click, but you're still accumulating touch points with that brand visibility and that brand reach. So for example, if nobody clicks on your video ad, they're still seeing your video ad and you're getting that touch point, which could lead to a sale, 2 weeks down the line. If you didn't get that touch point, maybe you wouldn't get that sale. So we're looking to collect touch points. And then finally, we're looking to obtain customers, although this is kind of controversial because they're Amazon's customers. We want to, make sure that people come back and search for our brand in the search term report, buy from us over and over again. That is the holy grail, is increasing the average order value and also the lifetime value of the customer. So if we can do that effectively with Amazon ads, and if we can know these numbers, then the ACoS becomes irrelevant because, or not as relevant, because we could spend more to acquire that customer because we know they're going to be around spending for a period of time. So super important to know this. And I want to throw this out as the foundation for this presentation. It's also the foundation for the playbook, which you guys will get access to because we work on these principles in setting up our campaigns. Every campaign has a purpose, and the purpose is aligned with one of these different reasons to do your campaign. All right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, I'd like to just throw in like one other point there, which I think is becoming a lot more relevant today is actually brand protection. And it's a different way of thinking about PPC, but a lot of these are all about driving customers. But at the end of the day, with all of these new options that are available in PPC by Amazon, there's opportunity for other brands to advertise on your listing, etc. And so you've also got to think about ways of like, hey, can we run PPC ads to keep competitors off of my pages and off of a certain position? So I think that's another interesting thing to just kind of throw out there as a very secondary thought, but don't forget about that for sure.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And that falls into the post-purchase protection phase, brand protection phase, also ASIN protection phase, which are two separate campaigns. But I want to say that if you think that people aren't leaving your brand, they absolutely are. You can actually see this in Amazon's brand reporting more recently. They can show you how many people have searched for your brand name and how many people actually like left your brand name, like the conversion rate of those people that actually searched for you, but purchased somewhere else. So it's happening, not at a huge rate, but if you protect your brand, there's a less chance of that happening. So good point, John. All right. So next is the ZonGuru tool. So this is the foundation for everything that we do in the playbook is good, solid keyword research and good, solid ASIN research. From there, we'll set up over 35 different campaigns based on where your product is at. If you're just getting started, probably 5 or 6 of those campaigns are relevant. But as you become more in depth in your journey with Amazon advertising, you can start to fill out your campaigns and give some more juice to your products and your brand line. It all starts with good keyword research. So like I said before, this tool does a lot for you that you would have to do manually through spreadsheets, which is why our team uses it. Our management services team uses it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find, I'm going to show you how to set up an actual keyword on fire example. And then I'll go to one that's already set up so we don't have to wait like a minute for it. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by add products by phrases. And the goal here is we want to just type in the root keyword. So let's say I'm going to do cold pack and we're going to sell our cold packs. So I'm going to search for this. And what's cool about this is it's going to pull up all of the relevant cold packs. And I want to find the ones that are the most relevant to the cold packs that I'm selling. Plus, I want to include my cold pack. Super important. I also want to use the ones that have the highest ratings because that has the most amount of information that the tool is going to gather. So typically that means I'm going to select up to like 20. I find between 15 and 20 is where I usually end up, although you can select up to 25. As you go down here, you'll see like not all of them are going to be ones that you want to select. For example, if I'm not selling an ankle cold pack, I wouldn't select the ankle cold pack. I want to make sure that what I'm selecting is highly relevant because we're doing a reverse ASIN search for all of the SKUs that we select. And then what's cool about this is we're comparing everything and then going from there. John, before I move on, is there anything you wanted to add with that?
No, I think that's great. I think the one comment I would make there is you can add, you can do cold pack and you can add, your selected ASINs from there, and then you could do another root keyword search. So you could do multiple keyword searches. So if you have like cold pack storage or something like that, if you have more than one main buyer keyword, you can do multiple keyword searches here. So you can get the best of those specific keywords into your actual, relevant keywords on fire session. Yeah.
Awesome. I did not know that. That is awesome.
So I wanted to ask you said it's very important to include your own products to the list. So why is that?
Yeah, super important because when we break it down later, we can see where our product compares to the competition's product with regards to rank, search volume, and everything else. So we're going to take that information from Keywords on Fire and bring it into the spreadsheet that I've created. And you can see like all of this great information and compare different things, which I'll get to in a second.
Yeah, it's really important because I think the more and more in terms of how sophisticated Amazon is getting and sellers are getting, the more we have context in terms of our brand, our product versus our competition, I think the better you are, right? And so that's exactly what Mike's doing here is like, if you include your brand, you have context versus the others, right? Which is really important.
Yeah. And John, would you suggest selecting your best ASIN or your highest converting ASIN?
Yes.
Okay. All right, cool. All right. So this is just like one of those cooking shows. We already have one pre-made for us. So here is the ice wrap. All right. And I want to just point out a couple of things. I've actually modified this a little bit. When you first go into Keywords on Fire, you're not going to see what you see here because what I did was I adjusted the rows. So when you go over to the table settings, when you first go into Keywords on Fire, all of these are going to be selected. And while all of this is really good information, you can get a lot out of these different columns. I would suggest going, and for this video, we're just going to keep the keyword, search volume, top 25 competitors, ZG launch, and competitors' positions visible on our screen for now. Like I said, there's a lot of other good stuff here. Like, for example, keyword bid, like PPC keyword bid. You could totally use that. But for the sake of what we're trying to do, which is find the most relevant keywords in the fastest amount of time, and then compare it to other lists to make sure we have the confidence in that keyword to then go bid on it. That's all we're trying to accomplish in this exercise. So basically, thorough keyword research in a short period of time. So keep these checked off and then go to apply, and you'll see that we have done this already. And what's really cool is you can see that we have 15 competitors. Now that includes our ASIN. We have 300 unique keywords. This is the reason why I really like the tool to begin with. It's because, a lot of other tools start off with like 15,000 keywords, and then I had to go whittle it down. Well, this whittles it down initially to the best 300 unique keywords that these different competitors share. So it takes a lot of the work out of the equation right then and there. The other thing that I really like is the magic behind seeing where you rank compared to your competitors. So I'm going to say that this is my product just for simplicity, but it's not. You can see that for this different keyword, I rank in the 9th position, whereas this product is in 142nd position. And this just gives me a feel for where I'm ranking. And this is going to play really big into what keywords we select when we're using these campaigns inside of the playbook. All right, John, I'm going to go into some of the specific details of these filters here to narrow it down even further. Is there anything else you want to add before I do that?
I just think what you mentioned there, which is it's good to hear that, which is like, hey, there's 300 keywords here, and we did a lot of work on our end because one of the pain points when we looked at keyword research tools is that a lot of them just have a lot of garbage in there. And if there's a way we can filter that out to make it more relevant for your brand, that's a critical piece to do. And literally, if you have 300 unique keyword phrases, that's plenty for any use, whether it's PPC or listings, etc. So we really do, try and make sure that the keyword list is the most impactful and relevant for your brand. And just one other thing that I want to mention there is, we do a reverse lookup, and what you talked about in terms of the seasonality of the listings and picking those out is really important. But what we do in addition is we use some other APIs to bring in data that customers are actually searching for on Amazon right now, and we dedupe that against the reverse lookup. So you're getting the best of like a keyword tool and a reverse lookup, which those two combinations together, plus the relevancy filter, make sure you have the best keywords to really move the needle on your business. And that's what I think a lot of sellers and obviously, service providers like yourselves find value in ZonGuru's, because we have that unique blend of both. But yeah, that's all I'd add.
Yeah, so it's doing a lot of there's thousands and thousands of keywords. It's whittling it down based on what John just said to 300 unique keywords that are really relevant that customers are searching for right now. And then what we want to do is because, honestly, if we just did like 300 keywords, we'd probably spend a ton of money on advertising. You'd probably be like not doing well if you did 300 keywords. We want to find the best of the best, or we want to find the opportunities within those 300 keywords. there's obviously going to be like strong keywords that everyone's going after that are going to be very expensive. We're going to, do our best to maybe compete there if you have the money, or maybe work around that and go after longer tail keywords that have opportunities. And the point is, if we start with 300 and then whittle it down to, let's say, 15 good solid keywords that we're going to use in the foundation of our Amazon advertising. And now if you go to the playbook series, I believe this is the first campaign, which is the keyword ranked campaign. We also go into it more in the research campaign, where we take these same keywords and then apply it to different match types and try to get more visibility. In the rank campaign, we do exact match. In the other types of campaigns where we're trying to get research, we do broad and phrase match. But the point is, it all starts right here from 300 to about 15. Now, it doesn't have to be 15 if you're on a tighter budget. I actually recommend less than 15, because we want to make sure that each one of these keywords gets the TLC. And by TLC, I mean ad spend budget, to make sure you make good decisions. If one keyword's only getting one click and another is getting all the clicks, and you have your spend dispersed across 50 keywords, you're not going to get the data and you're going to end up spending a lot more money. I'd rather you do like 5 to 10 keywords, test it, and then move on to the next 5 and to the next 5 and to the next 5. So that being said, there's a couple of critical filters. And this is when I was watching the video that I talked to you about before, I was like, man, ZonGuru has this already built in. So what you want to do is come over here and go to search volume greater than or equal to. As you can see, I use like either 300 or 500, depending on what you get. You may even want to whittle that down even more. And you'll notice that that brings us down to 157 unique keywords. And all that's doing is it's getting rid of some of the keywords that don't have a high enough search volume to really warrant this stage of where we're at. We want to find opportunities. We're getting rid of some of the lower search volume keywords. The next, and I think this is the most critical step, it's right over here under the top 25 competitors. Here, what we're doing is we're finding where your top 25 competitors, we're finding the keywords that have the most amount of your competitors in the top 25 that are showing up. Let me rephrase that. So here you could see that there's a number 5 here. That means 5 of the competitors, 5 of the 13 competitors are showing up in the top 25 for this keyword. That tells me that this is a relevant keyword, because the competitors that I selected as being relevant, 5 of them are showing up in the top 25. I want to be there. It's relevant. It's also long tail. I have a chance at this keyword. And then I could go ahead and see where I stack up compared to my competition. And then I could start to formulate a plan as to start to rank for that keyword and start to go after it with my rank campaign inside of the playbook. All right. John, before we move on, did I explain that thoroughly enough? The top 25 competitor, is there anything you wanted to add there?
I think you covered that perfectly. Yeah. I mean, we chose the top 25 positions because that's ultimately page 1, right? And you want to understand how many of those competitors actually rank in the top 25 positions, how many there are, where the opportunity is. So, that's why we've included the top 25. Yeah.
Okay. So then the second filter would be top 25 competitors greater than or equal to. And once again, you could play around with this. This is perfect. So check this out. I have a search volume greater than 500, and I have top 25 competitors greater than 4. So these are probably the most relevant search terms of our 300 that also have search volume. We've whittled it down from 300 down to 28. And then we're going to take this one step further to find more confidence in these keywords and opportunity in these keywords. So I'm going to move over to the spreadsheet that you guys will get for free once you download the playbook. It's a link inside of the playbook. So the spreadsheet that we put together is simply a download of this screen that you see right here. You would just go over to export to CSV. And then you would, I don't know anything about spreadsheets at all. So I promise you this is simple. But you would export this to CSV and then copy and paste it into the spreadsheet that we made over here. So this spreadsheet is really simple. When you come over here, you're going to paste the CSV file right over here. And you'll see that these are the different ASINs that go along right over here. And these are the numbers that fill into this spreadsheet. So everything that you see inside of ZonGuru is now inside of this spreadsheet. And if you get lost, we have a how to use, basically is exactly what I just said, and where to paste it and everything else. So let's go back into the spreadsheet. Now I pasted this into here, and you can see the search volume. You can see the top 25 competitors, ZG launch, and then all of the different ASINs. The first step that I recommend doing is inputting your ASIN into this section right over here, and then going over here and highlighting your ASIN just so that you know where you stand in this whole spreadsheet, where your ASIN stands compared to your competition. Makes it a little bit easier visually. So I would simply then highlight this, put it over here. And now what's going to happen when I do that, we have a simple calculation that shows you the top ASINs, that shows you the top ASIN. So this is the top ASIN that has the most search volume in the top 10 positions. It's this one right over here. As you can see, that's not me, that's someone else. And this is the ASIN that has the highest top 25 search volume. Now here's the actual search volume based on ZonGuru's data that shows up, 24,702 for top 10. And then the total the total search volume for top 25 would be 56,236. So what's really cool about this is this ASIN, all this is saying is that this ASIN, which has the most amount of search volume compared to other ASINs in the top 10, has a max search volume of 24,702. And then it's looking at my ASIN to see how much I'm getting in terms of the search volume. Where am I showing up in that top 10? And you can see that there's a difference of 6,464. So compared to the top competitor, I still have work to do. There's certain search terms that I'm not appearing, getting visibility for, and that's resulting in me not getting a potential of 6,464 organic visibility, organic searches or visibility through organic searches. And the same with the top 25 competitor. This is the top 25 competitors ASIN here. This has the most amount of search volume. This is what the max amount of search volume is. Here's where I'm stacking up compared to my competition. And this is the difference. Here's some of the opportunity. All right. So this is another little feature that we have right over here called the number of keywords per ASINs ranked in the top 10 and the top 25. So what this is doing is it's looking at the actual ASIN itself, and we can look at our ASIN that's highlighted in green, and we could see that we have 9 of our keywords, of our 28 keywords, we are ranked in the top 10, and 19 of the top 25 we're in. So this gives us a little bit of an understanding of how we compare to our competition. And let me show you what this actually looks like so you could see, over here that these are weaker competitors. They only have 3 top-ranked top 10 keywords and 6 top 25 ranked keywords, whereas we have 19 top 25 ranked keywords and 9 top-ranked top 10 keywords. Okay, a little confusing, but really what this does is it shows you where there is some opportunity. All right. And remember, the goal is to get to 5 to 15 highly rated keywords, highly relevant keywords. So once you have this set up, which is essentially just putting in your ASIN, you can see where you stack compared to your competition. The next step is to get some confidence in those keywords. So we have 28 different keywords, and these tabs over here is where we can actually enter in other keyword lists to get a little bit more confidence in the keywords that we're going after. So as you can see here, it says true under brand analytics. Now, all I did was I went over here and I went to brand analytics and I downloaded the brand analytics reports that was relevant to the search term like cold pack, downloaded that, and then I uploaded them right over here. And that gives me more intelligence, more data, because this is Amazon's information. And I want to make sure I have that as another set of intelligence or confidence when I'm going to set up my campaigns. So I paste that over here. Then the second list is from your search term report. Now, this is for sellers who actually have sales already. If you have a search term report or numerous search term reports, you can download those search term reports and enter them right over here. And that's another list that will show up right over here. It'll be true or it'll show up as blank if it doesn't show up in that list. And the other list that we have over here are any of your other keyword research tools. So if you use another keyword research tool, you could do research from over there, and you could put it into this column. And the point is, now we have whittled everything down in about 5 minutes from 15 ASINs that we found to 300 keywords to now 28 keywords to now we can see where there's opportunity based on other keyword research that takes a second to do, putting them into this list and then seeing where we want to go. So I hope that didn't lose anyone, but now we're at the point where we can find those 5 to 15 keywords, and then we can set up our campaigns. And to do that, what I would do is first look for confluence, make sure that you have a keyword that is showing up on brand analytics, search term report, other keyword report. This one looks like it's perfect. It's also a long tail opportunity. So it means it's probably not as expensive. The cost per clicks might be a little bit lower. So I would totally use this as one of my keywords, so long as it is hyper relevant. And we've already done the work to make sure that that is the case. And then what you can do is go down this list and use this information to find your 5 to 15 keywords based on your budget and based on which keywords you think are the most relevant. I would use this as your list, and then start your Amazon ad journey from there. John, anything to add to this?
No, I think that's awesome. I think a couple of good things that you've done here is looking at the relevancy of the ranking of keywords in both the top 10 and the top 25. I think it's good to be able to separate those two out and see which ones are really doing well in the top 10 versus top 25. So I think that's a really good step. And then I think, to your point, bringing in especially the search term reports, which sellers have access to, and putting them in there to compare, because that's your real touchstone if you are selling already, because that the keywords that are coming through there are ones that customers are actually typing into Amazon. And then if those match up again with the keywords you have there, I think that's a really important step. Brand analytics, of course, as well. We do pull in some of that data as well. So, and then of course, other keyword research. So, anything that will help you to really feel confident about it. And, getting to kind of the end result, right? Which is, how do I launch a campaign with the most effective ranking keywords? We find that sellers and service providers like yourselves that use that as their initial manual campaign have a much better impact on driving their ranking than if they just go with like an automatic campaign or something like that as their base, right? So I think this is really giving you a lot of confidence, like, hey, these are the right keywords to go after, and you can be confident. And again, relevancy, I think, is really important, making sure that these are relevant for your brand.
Right. So it's super simple. Now, the next step would be to take these keywords from Keywords on Fire and then use them in your ranked campaigns. We know that they're relevant keywords. We could then, I didn't have this loaded in, but if you go to here it is, the Sponsored Products Keyword Launch Campaign. There's a unique formula that we use for this type of campaign, and we show you how to do that step by step. So you would then take it and use a fixed bid, top of search strategy, highly relevant keywords to try to get that visibility at the top of search with these keywords. Of course, make sure you use ZonGuru to track your keywords, because that's absolutely essential. If you start this campaign without that, then that's not good, because you want to be able to track what you're doing. And then like I said before, the journey starts from there. And then what you can do is go in and test these 5 to 15 out first, and then go back and test a few more, and then add them into your research campaign, which is further down the list over here. We have the research campaign, and then start to fill out your funnel with the customer buying cycle to get more visibility, more rank, and the whole thing starts from there. So that is the foundation. We have videos for each one of these campaigns so that we don't leave you hanging with any questions that you might have about how to set up a campaign, but you could always reach out to me. And the other thing I want to say is that this document here has a lot of different cheat sheets. So we have this one keyword cheat sheet. We also have, which I really like, this audience cheat sheet. You can find different audiences that are relevant to what you're selling quickly and easily. And last, let's see here. We have one more thing that the ASIN cheat sheet. And John, maybe we could talk about this a little bit, because, just like finding good keywords, finding good ASINs is absolutely important thing to do. Like you have to make sure you fill out your product targeting campaigns as well. So this cheat sheet will show you how to do that quickly and easily to find, just like we did before, we want to find the relevant ASINs to then target wherever we have like some kind of a competitive advantage. So John, is there anything inside of ZonGuru that you want to show us to find those ASINs?
No, I think what you have here is perfect. I think that's plenty for this. I think the thing that I would say there is understanding the most relevant ASINs, which you would get from Keywords on Fire, because it's literally based on keywords and search volume and what people are searching for. But yeah, I think that's a really good point, because identifying who those ASINs are, those top 25 competitors, that's really important for various different types of advertising, and especially for your brand protection, and also going after competitors' sales and capitalizing on their listings. So there's a lot that you can get from not just the keywords but the ASINs. That's really important. So it's a really good point.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to cover today. Basically, the keyword research all the way into setting up your first campaign. Unless you have any other questions, that's all I have to share.
Yeah, I think one other really cool last tip is especially when you're looking at some of your really top competitors that you as an ASIN that you identify here in Keywords on Fire. You can also compare. What if you click in at the top where it says analyze products from US markets? Just click over there. You can actually select some of the top competitors that have appeared on the right-hand side, and you can show what are the keywords that they rank for or not rank for in the top 25 positions. So this is also a really good way to, at the end of the day, filter down to kind of see, hey, if I've identified the top 28, but I want to see how do they really compare against one or two of the big competitors. You can multiple add, for example, the ASINs that do not rank for those keywords in the top 25 positions to really target in, on some of those awesome opportunity keywords. So this is another little area that you can play around with within ZonGuru's. So I just wanted to show you that tidbit.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Mike, for such a detailed step-by-step guide. And John, thank you for these awesome comments as well. So I wanted to ask a little bit, what are the next steps after you have identified these relevant keywords? So can you really briefly give us an idea, what do you mean by testing, like how sellers should actually go ahead and test those keywords?
Yeah, so this is what we call the rank campaign. This is where you would take those keywords and you put them into a sponsored product campaign. I wouldn't test them out in a sponsored brand campaign or a sponsored brand video campaign yet. I would start with a sponsored product campaign if you're just getting started. This way you can start to see if those campaigns were going to work for you. Because what we're doing now is we found the most relevant keywords. We found some that have an opportunity, and we're trying to show up at the very top. So to do that, we're going to do what's called the top of search modifier and fixed bid with somewhat aggressive bidding to get to the top of the search. All the while you're gaining reviews, you're trying to get traction, you're trying to get visibility on Amazon. So we would test out 5 to 15 keywords at the top of search and then go from there. And we call that a rank campaign. Once again, this is all spelled out for you inside of the playbook, which we'll get the link for you in a second.
Okay, very good. And regarding all of those steps, should sellers do something differently when they are trying to find relevant keywords for a product they are not yet selling? So they actually don't have a product live yet.
Yeah, so this is really important. I use John's tool as well, which I didn't show you, to improve the SEO of my listing. And if you're just getting started and you haven't gotten to the point yet, SEO is critically important. It's like the glue between Amazon advertising and promoting your product. Like you have to get that squared away first. So let's say your product's on a boat somewhere, it hasn't been checked in, and you have a couple of weeks. I would go into the listing builder tool, which takes that list of 300 keywords and then allows you to see your listing compared to like is it 10 competitors, John, or is it 5 competitors?
It's 8.
It's 8 competitors. So essentially it almost like gamifies the process, because you can then take that list that we talked about And I would even whittle it down to like 30 keywords. This is what we did, the top 30 keywords based on the search filters that I recommended. And then you can upload that list quickly into the listing tool to then compare your product to other products, and then get those keywords that are highly good opportunity keywords into prominent locations in your listing. That's the title, the bullets, the backend keyword section, all of that. But then also gamify it to see where you compare to other competitors. And I think we got our score was almost like 28,000, and our nearest competitor was like 19,000. And that was simply by taking our research and then improving our listing SEO. If you're just getting started, I would do that. I would also do that. That's like a critical step. To do that, even with, if you've been doing this for a while, that's a critical step to make sure you have that piece in place.
That's actually what I was going to bring up at the end is all of that work that's being done in the foundation of your PPC campaign. If you don't have what we call quality score, you're doing a disservice to the foundation of your PPC, and it's not going to perform at the level. And what we mean by quality score is making sure that your listing has those same appropriate short tail and long tail keyword phrase or exact match in the listing, so that when you run your PPC or your advertising campaigns, there's a direct link between the keywords that people are searching for, what they click on, and what's actually in your listing. And more importantly, where that keyword appears in your listing, because depending on where you place it, you're going to get more or less juice from the algorithm. So that quality score aspect of making sure that you have the same keywords in your listing as in your paid campaigns is really important. And that's actually one of the things that I'll bring up on this call. We actually have something called the Rapid Ranking Challenge. There'll be a link that you can post below. But essentially, that's exactly what it is. It takes you through the steps of how to find the keywords and how to build your listing in the right way to be the number one best optimized listing versus any of your competitors. And that's a really critical context piece to have, is like, at least you're going into selling on Amazon with your best foot forward, with the best listing, and you've figured out where your opportunities are. So that Rapid Ranking Challenge is available. There's a link, but it's definitely worth more than $150 to get you going, if that. Yeah. So enjoy that.
Okay, very good. So Mike, do you agree that ZonGuru helps you to save time and work more efficiently?
Oh, no, not at all, actually. No, it saves us a ton of time. That's why our team uses it. It's like it takes a half an hour of keyword research or more down to 5 minutes. And combined with the cheat sheet, I think it's a winning solution to setting up right ads. It's not going to waste you a ton of money. And then also, like John said, make sure your listing is dialed in before you start advertising, and their tool can help you with that as well. So kudos to John and their team. Thank you guys for helping out our team and our customers. So awesome stuff.
Very good. So to wrap this interview and presentation up, could you both please again give us a little bit of overview how your company helps Amazon sellers, and also if any of our viewers would like to learn more, then what's the best way to do that?
Yeah. So once again, my name is Mike Zagare from PPC Entourage. We have Entourage 2.0 that just came out, which has a lot of great features, including a marketplace and a university. This information that we went over today will be inside of our university, and very soon John's tool will be inside of our marketplace, along with a host of great new features that can allow you to do a lot of different things with the advertising really quickly and easily. I want to give you guys the playbook today for free. It's normally just $3 on Kindle or through the link. But if you go to this link here, get.ppcentourage.com/AMZ, you'll get the playbook guide, which is like 150 pages with videos of step-by-step instructions on how to set up each one of these campaigns. Every ad type, everything from what we just talked about all the way to brand protection, video campaigns, and everything. And I have to add more to it. Amazon's going crazy with all the different types of ads. It's nuts. But it's there for you if you guys need it. And once again, thank you so much for having me on.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you diving in there. It's certainly cool to hear you teach from your level of expertise. So yeah, well, once again, I'm John Tilley, the co-founder of ZonGuru, the CEO. And again, we're a business intelligence toolset for private label Amazon sellers in 10 different marketplaces. Check us out. I think you will see a lot of value, as Mike has shown here, in terms of us truly understanding the problems we need to solve for Amazon sellers. We have a lot of sellers on our team, for sellers, by sellers, and you see that in our tools. And yeah, I think to coincide with what Mike was teaching now, check out the Rapid Ranking Challenge. It is a few days of solid teaching around how to create the best listing to be in position number 1 versus your competitors. Check it out. You can click on the link and you get a ZonGuru t-shirt with that too.
Okay, perfect. So thanks again, both of you, and hope to see you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, LISETT.
I hope you enjoyed this video with John and Mike, and in case you want to sign up for ZonGuru or PPC Entourage, find both of the links below in the video description. And now I would like to recommend you to watch more videos and tutorials about ZonGuru in this playlist.